All right, so this is my 96 7.3 Power Stroke. It's a F250. It's actually got a really nice body on it. Could stand a paint job eventually. It's got some obvious damage to the paint, but other than that, no dents really. I got this truck for about $400 worth of my time. Put a sidewalk in for somebody, and they gave me the truck in exchange. So when I got the truck, it was running, but it was very difficult to start, and it had a rough idle. It was very hard to get started most of the time, but especially after it warmed up, it would not restart at all. You had to shoot starting fluid in it to get it to even think about starting. So I'll go over a few of the things that I had to do. So when I first got it, it was leaking a ton of oil, diesel, on top of the engine there, and it was running down the back, getting all over the starter. Not a good thing. All it was, though, is the little fuel line that goes between the mechanical lift pump and the fuel bowl. But once I had it out, I realized I don't want to try to put this piece of crap back together. It was a lot of work to get it out. So I just decided to optimize it. I put in a Marty's e-fuel kit. It's a lot nicer, in my opinion, than an I-Rate, because you don't have to take the AC compressor, the turbo, none of that out. It was very simple to put this together. It took me about 6 hours. I thought the hardest part was going to be the electrical, which is that little 2 blocks right there. It's actually very easy. It was the easiest part of the whole project. So very straightforward for that. I'll show you underneath what it looks like. So we have less moving parts now because, you know, the mechanical lift pump runs on the camshaft, and the one I had was, apparently when I pulled it out, it was already broken. But here is the setup, and that was actually really easy. That gauge right there on the right hand side is a vacuum gauge to make sure my tanks are not clogged up. I upgraded to the Bosch. I had to modify the bracket a little bit to get it to fit how I wanted it to, but it was a really easy process. And personally, I'd rather have an old truck. I just got rid of my almost $90,000 GMC 2500 for the sheer fact I don't know how to work on one of those things. It's way overpriced. It was a good tax write-off, but I just I got to move on to other things in life, because I didn't like, I wanted to do things to it. I wanted to build it, you know, turbo and all that kind of stuff, but there's literally no room under the hood unless you wanted to. I mean, it can be done, but this thing's much easier to work on. So on to the next stuff that I did. I unnecessarily replaced the batteries because I didn't believe the guy when he said the batteries were new. And it cranked so poorly. I charged it overnight. It still wouldn't crank, barely. So I replaced the batteries, and guess what? Still wouldn't crank. So I thought maybe it's the starter. I look at the date on the starter. The damn thing's a year old. So maybe they had the same idea. What it was is these cables, and I replaced them through XDP. I think it's part number 420, and it goes from the starter to the batteries, from the batteries to the grounds. It's got the connector right here, connects the 2 batteries. It took me about 4 hours to do. That kit was about $300, worth every penny. This thing immediately cranked up like a brand new truck. But I was still having a problem where it wouldn't start once it was hot. And I went ahead and I replaced the IPR, which is down there. It's that little brass colored bolt right there. And it was about $200. And it starts a lot better, it runs a lot better, and we don't have any hot start issues, but it really helped the truck smooth out. The next thing I'm going to replace is the ICP, which is the injection pressure sensor, okay, or whatever. Don't quote me on that. I haven't had my coffee yet. So anyways, but I've got that sitting on the workbench right now, so I'm about to replace that today. I'm going to replace these boots on the turbo and put a new O-ring in. This truck's still a work in progress. It's running a lot better. I think it's going to need some glow plugs or a glow plug relay. I also think the O-rings and the injectors are going, because it's been running good. I actually have been using this truck for work. So pulling trailers and everything else, and it's run good, but I went to start it this morning and it was acting like it was flooded. It's belching white smoke and everything else. Gave it a little shot of ether, fired right up, and before everybody, oh, you don't put ether on a turbo with the glow plugs and all that. I don't think I have glow plugs right now. And secondly, I don't care. It's my truck. But I also put a little, I don't sit there blasting it because I know it doesn't need much. But So yeah, I'm going to be checking the glow plugs out next, and I'm going to be changing the ICP. But, you know, if you want something to be dependable and to last you, these are the preventatives. I did get it to start briefly, and it fired right back up, but I want you to hear how quick this thing spins over, and that was just with changing the battery terminals. But yeah, it was smoking a little bit this morning, just white, and I think I've got a leak off the downpipe off the turbo, because when I'm cranking it, it was flooded this morning. That's why I think I got bad O-rings, or maybe it's just the glow plugs aren't warming up, because I had all this white smoke coming out of the exhaust pipe and out from under the hood. But once I got it to fire over, it's running fine now. So I think just from sitting for the last couple days, if it's got bad O-rings, it leaks some oil or fuel down in the cylinders. So these are the next preventative steps I'm gonna be taking. I'm gonna try to take some videos for you guys to show you how to do it. It's just, when I'm working on something, I really don't want to, you know, fight with a camera and do all that. Also, I'm about out of fuel, so that might be why it was giving me a hard time this morning. But anyways, guys, she's running a lot better, and she fires right back up. So I do need to, as I said, keep putting it back together. This truck sat for a long time, but it's got 247,000 miles on it, and it's running really good. So yeah, definitely guys, just make sure if you have one of these and you're having any issues to start with that course of action and follow as I keep going. Thanks for watching.